101.5 QIK. It is Lana and Kevin in this morning. JR, of course, if you did not hear yesterday, they had their baby girl over the weekend. So obviously he is with them this morning and probably will be for the rest of the week. Right now we're doing the second date update, and we just spoke to Eddie on the phone and told us about his date with Tonya. They went to some cool place in St. Pete, and then he said they were really having a great conversation. Lasted like 3 hours.
Yeah, and he said that she was a good listener and obviously had a good conversation if it lasted that long.
Right.
But obviously something's going on because she's not now returning his calls. So he asked us to help out and see if we can get her on the phone, which we have done so.
Okay, yeah, you got a hold of her and she's agreed to come on the air with us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, let's bring her on. Good morning, Tonya. How are you doing?
Hi, good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
Good. We appreciate you coming on the air with us. Sorry to give you a call this early in the morning, but wanted to see if you'd be comfortable talking to us about this guy, Eddie, that you went out on a date with. We just have a couple of questions we wanted to ask you.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we got a chance to talk to Eddie, and he told us about this amazing date that you guys had, really connected, and he's been trying to get a hold of you to ask you out on another date, but you're not responding back to him. So we just kind of want to know what's up.
You know, I really am not getting a good vibe from his childhood. And his dad, to me, just seems like a guy that can't commit. So I have a problem with that.
Okay. Can you explain a little bit more, like what's going on with what happened in his childhood?
Yeah. So we talked at dinner about his family, you know, both of our families. And he told me that his parents split up when he was pretty young. I don't remember exactly when they got divorced, but he was young. And his dad had women just like bouncing in and out of the house. His dad was like chasing a bunch of women when he was married, and he's had 4 wives. It just doesn't and it's not a good look. He just obviously doesn't seem like a person that can commit. And Eddie grew up with his dad, so I hate to assume this, I really do. But to me, it seems like he has the same mentality of his dad because that was his, you know, role model growing up. And I don't know, it worries me that the path that his dad took, you know, not staying committed to a woman for his entire childhood, just seems like the path down too, because Eddie hasn't had a girlfriend in a while and he just doesn't seem that serious.
Interesting.
Yeah, his dad just seems like a bad person. And frankly, I don't really want to waste my time, you know?
Ooh.
Well, I mean, yeah, I can see where you're kind of getting an idea there, but that's his dad. Here's the thing, Tonya. So Eddie was the one who got a hold of us. He wants to go out on another date with you. So obviously, I think you're wrong about that. I think maybe he does want to commit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to bring Eddie back on the phone right now because he just kind of heard what you had to say, and I want to dive further into this. Eddie, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So you heard what Tonya had to say, so I feel kind of bad because this is obviously all about your dad, but doesn't really reflect you as a person.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, that's all my dad. Like, that's not me. Like, I feel like you got to be kidding me, right? I mean, like, because my dad does what he does, that means that I'm going to do. I just feel like you're just kind of jumping to some conclusions. Like, I just feel like that's really unfair. Like, what my dad does is his business. And, like, Tonya, if I wouldn't have said anything to you about that, you wouldn't have even known. And I'm sharing this stuff with you, and it's being used against me.
Like, I didn't realize that you were on the phone. And I know it sounds horrible. And I'm just seeing that the odds just aren't good. Like, they're not in my favor. And you talked about, you know, how you didn't even have to mention it on the first date, but eventually I would have found out. And that kind of stuff is really important to me. I told you my parents are still together and they celebrate their anniversary and they're committed to each other. And that's what I grew up with. And the fact that your dad was your role model and he was running around behind your mom's back just makes me feel like you could be easily persuaded. And I really don't want to look back in a year after you cheated on me when I had this feeling about how this could have gone, you know? And I don't want to get hurt.
Tonya, the guy hasn't even done anything wrong.
Yeah, don't you think you're jumping to some conclusions? I mean, he's a role model in some ways, but not in others. I mean, like, this is the thing. It's like, you know, I really felt comfortable with you opening up, and like women are like, oh, why don't men open up? Like this is what I did. I opened up, I communicated, I shared my life, and then it's like the second I said something, it was used against me. I mean, come on, like that. You're just jumping to conclusions. You're just taking your theories and you're just running with them. I mean, like that's just so unfair. You can't treat people that way.
I just have a bad feeling. I'm sorry that that you feel like you can't open up to girls and stuff. This is just a situation, you know. I need to trust my gut.
But this is about his dad. It's not about Eddie. I mean, shouldn't you give Eddie a chance?
I really don't want to look back after knowing what I know and think, okay, wow, I just spent a year of my life and now I'm heartbroken. And he's like father, like son.
Ooh, okay.
Wow.
I don't think it's really fair to do to Eddie because you're not even giving him a chance. You're just basing this all on his dad's actions. I mean, can you give him another chance? You want to go out with him on another date?
No.
Well, Eddie, we called her.
We tried.
She told you. We tried. Unfortunately, kind of stinks. I mean, you're opening up to somebody and then, yeah, it kind of backfires on you. So sorry that this one didn't work out for you, but thank you for going on the air with us, Tonya. We do appreciate it. And Eddie, thanks for your call.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Huh. Well, I mean,
That's a tough one. And, you know, he might be the greatest guy ever, and his dad may have no effect on him whatsoever, but she doesn't even want to even think about it.
yeah, really unfair, I believe, for her to do. But I want to know your thoughts. I mean, what are you thinking? Is she right on this one, or is she completely being unfair? I mean, I don't know. You side with Eddie, you side with Tonya. Give us a call and let us know your thoughts. 800-992-1099.